So, hello, my name is Angel Guillen. My majors are sociology and Chicano studies, and then I'm also a double minor, that being in Spanish and in psychology. My journey to Fresno State hasn't been the easiest, coming from a first generation, low income, and a son of immigrant background. Both my parents migrated here to the US from Mexico in order to give my siblings and I a better future. Now that I'm graduating at Fresno State, this wouldn't have been possible without them and their sacrifices and all the support they've given me. Therefore, now that I'm going towards my master's for school counseling, I don't want to just stop there. I see myself after my master's degree working within a public education high school, having an um, impactful discussions and workshops with students as well. Students that are very similar, have similar journeys to myself actually. Moreover, I just don't want to be a counselor. I also want to pursue a doctoral in educational leadership, and my overall goal is to become a superintendent within a public education district. That way, I can have a more meaningful impact in the actual policies that are being enacted uh, within public ed, because I still think that there's many issues that affect underrepresented and marginalized students within their higher education system.
So my name is Elizabeth Morales. I am a double major in political science and Chicano studies. So my motivation to be an immigration attorney is mainly because of my parents. My parents are migrant farm workers, and I see them struggle with the new immigration policies. Having to live through that has been like a big obstacle, and it's been very difficult. So I know that there are other students that are maybe in high school or even in elementary that they have to worry about their parents being deported or not being able to see them when they're back home. So I wish to lift that fear out of their lives, or eliminate it in a way, so they can rest assured that their parents are going to go back home, that they will have somebody that will keep supporting them, and that they don't have to keep worrying about their parents' legal status, or being eligible for any benefits that a regular citizen would be eligible for.
Hi, my name is Jocelyn Ramirez, and I am a senior majoring in psychology, and I'll be graduating this fall. And I'll be entering into the master's program for student affairs and college counseling. I would say it was my experience with that counselor, as well as my counselor in the TRIO program, just kind of experiencing how they helped me and like how that impacted me in a positive way, and also seeing other students, because I am part of the TRIO program. I work there as a student assistant, so I'm also able to see how like the work of that counselor affects the other first generation students. And I guess that's something that I would want to do in the future, just help other students. Fresno State kind of feels like home, and it's just where I'm comfortable and I just like it here. So I feel like working here would also it would feel good. And also to give back, because that's where I received help. So now I want to like pay it forward.
Hi, my name is Rebecca Moses, and I am studying health administration, and I'm getting my degree in health science. I just recently got accepted to a master's program with National University, so I will be continuing my educational journey there and receiving my master's from there. And then eventually I would like to work in a hospital setting, specifically the Veterans Hospital. And I would like to actually work here in Fresno and work for the VA here, and just help run the administrative side of the hospital. I really feel like I want to give back to my community. Being a veteran myself, I know how difficult the healthcare system can kind of be to navigate. And so I want to help people better understand that.
So my name is Pablo Cabrera. I'm currently attending Fresno State, and I'm working on getting my master's in construction management. So I was born and raised in Durango, Mexico. I moved to the United States back in 2012. I was 16 years old when my family and I decided to relocate to California. It was a difficult transition, and first of all, because I didn't speak English at all, 0% English, and also I was used to a different educational system in Mexico. So as of right now, I'm working as a field engineer for a local construction company, Harris Construction. I've been working as a full-time field engineer since I graduated. I had interned for other construction companies in the San Diego area, down south, and here in Fresno. When I graduated with my bachelor's, I decided that I wanted to stay in the Central Valley, and I continued working for Hearst Construction. My plan is to eventually become one of the lead superintendents in the construction company I am working for, and then also I also plan on coming back to Fresno State and start teaching part-time at the Lyles College of Engineering.
My name's Erin E. Connor, and I am a third-year graduate student in the Master of Arts in Higher Education Administration and Leadership. I am a financial aid counselor, and I have, just by happenstance, I think maybe personality and then just also luck of the draw, I started getting a lot of students in crises, either because they were facing homelessness, or they didn't have enough food, or maybe they had been forcibly removed from their parents' houses. So I kind of was experiencing those types of situations, and then I really started working with Project Hope, which is our case management program at Fresno State, and I really enjoyed that work. I started serving on the Good Samaritan Grant Committee and finding ways where we could stretch funds for students. You know, maybe we not fund them through the Good Samaritan Grant, which is a limited fund, but maybe we could fund them through alternative means through financial aid. I'm very interested in meeting students' basic needs, whether that is specifically, you know, food security or more of a holistic thing. I've noticed that public universities tend to have more of those initiatives, so I'd like to stay in that area.
So my name is Juan Fonseca. My full name is Juan Manuel Fonseca Vargas, and then I'm currently in the Student Affairs and College Counseling program. I do come from a farm working background. I think that's important for me to always highlight. And part of my research that I continue on, being in the honors program in my undergraduate years, and then now for my master's project, it's always been connecting to my personal life and the lives of my family. So I always like to highlight kind of my farm working background. Yes, I would like to start off as a higher ed counselor, so an academic counselor helping out students with academic advising, but also offering that personal support, very similar to maybe what a therapist would provide, clinical therapy, but more of the academic piece, of course. And then eventually moving on to the high school level. So I think it's a population that I really like to work with. I currently work with CalSoap, so the Central Valley CalSoap, and so it's a great population. Their transition from high school to college, I think that's where there's a great need for supporting students. And I currently enjoy my role as a college success coach. So that's what I see in the long-term goal, kind of being an advisor or counselor at a high school level, supporting students in their transition from high school to college.
So my name is Erica Lassen, and I completed a Master's of Arts in Communication. So my research interests center on family communication, and for this particular project, I studied mother-daughter conflict communication. So the purpose of my work was to assess whether dehumanization is present in mother-daughter conflict experiences. And the purpose of that was to assess whether fairness was experienced in the mother-daughter relationships for my participants. And that was all done with looking at the relationship from applying a social justice perspective and framework to that relationship to assess the role of fairness. There are a number of things that came up in this particular research project that I'd like to, write articles about and publish. And I definitely want to teach. I've always wanted to teach since I was a kid. And as I noted, I feel, as a transfer student myself, I just feel really pulled to that population of students, and I really want to teach at the community college level.
So hi, my name is Tanya Sanchez. I'm currently a master's student in the school counseling program here at Fresno State. At Fresno State, as a student, I actually attended University High School. So as a high school student, I was impacted by the university, being able to connect with the university's culture. And that really drew me into Fresno State. I knew I wanted to pursue my bachelor's degree here, which I did in 2020. I received my bachelor's in psychology, and then eventually now I'm obtaining my master's degree in counseling in the school counseling option. My connections that I've made throughout high school even up until today have really impacted me in many ways, both emotionally, socially, and professionally. I've been able to obtain positions through the Educational Opportunity Program. I've been able to serve as a president for our EOP Student Club, SOS, which is Students Organizing for Success. And meeting the people along the way, Judy, John, Mui, all these really wonderful counselors, a part of EOP, have really helped me push to where I am today. I would not be here without them. As a first-generation student born and raised in Fresno, I want to remain here in Fresno. After graduating, I want to be able to serve my community, their families, and the students that live here, because not only is Fresno my home, but it's home to many students that I want to support. So I definitely see myself residing in Fresno for the rest of my life, giving back to my community as much as it did to me, and help students professionally grow and become functioning members of society. I want to also help families, the families of my students, to take advantage of opportunities that are available to them. And eventually, obtaining my doctorate in educational leadership will allow me to be in a position where I'm able to further improve student success services